Marvel's Spider-Man, the next Universes Beyond that is going to break the bank of Magic the Gathering fans like you and I is ready for release. We are getting closer and closer, and as we approach release day, we are seeing something that is a bit unprecedented in these times. I want to take a look at the price of Marvel's Spider-Man set and evaluate what is going on. Is what is happening permanent? Is it just a phase? Or is this more indicative of things to come? All of that and more in today's video. And if you like content like this, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the like button down below because it helps a small channel like mine more than you can possibly imagine. All right, let's dig into some of this Spider-Man chaos. Now, before we dive too deep, I will say that in today's video, we are going to discuss the prices of Magic the Gathering products. And I know some people are a bit uneasy with that discussion, so I'll kind of get my viewpoint of the price of Magic out of the way right away. I think play boxes and Magic cards should be accessible and affordable. I don't think they should have no value and be printed into oblivion, but to play Magic the Gathering should be a relatively cheap experience that anyone and everyone can get involved in. That's extremely important to what makes Magic so incredible. The Commander community, the idea that you can sit down and play a game with anyone at any time is a beautiful thing. I've also advocated for collector boxes being collectible, but there's also a fine line, in my opinion, from collectible collector boxes to collector boxes pushing up over $1,000 immediately on release. I've always said and will always continue to say, I believe immediately increased collector box pricing is bad. There's a middle ground that we should shoot for, and a healthy increase in value over time is far more important than an immediately skyrocketing rare and hard to get product. With that out of the way, Spider-Man is showing some signs of the market coming back down to earth for the product, if you will. Coming off the hype of Final Fantasy and all of the trading card game craziness that's been going on in 2025, Spider-Man rode this wave and rode the price point of collector boxes to almost $1,000. I believe $800 to $900 per box was at the peak. And play boxes followed shortly as rumors of short printing and inaccessibility circulated in our community. And so today, I want to take a look at what's happened since then. So let's head over to TCG Player and notice that Spider-Man Play Booster boxes are back under $200. And I feel like I have to say this because I'm going to get someone in the comment section saying, you're just expensive boxes are against the community, you're against the player. No, play boxes should be more affordable. I don't like $200 Play Booster boxes, but I'm going to talk about the market as it is because this is where we're at. And coming off the highs of over $200, we see the play box coming back down to earth at around $182.49. And this to me is not indicative of a crash. This to me is far more healthy. I want to take you on a journey really quickly, if you will, where we talk about how Magic used to work. It used to be a set comes out, as you got closer to the release, the product became more available, more listings came to light, and prices came back down to normal. You paid a premium to be early involved in buying your product, and as we got closer to the day that everyone was going to get in their hands, prices came back down to earth. That seems to be what's happening with Spider-Man Play Boosters, and with the fear mostly thwarted by Wizards of the Coast of this is never going to be reprinted, we lost the license, we can't do it. That's not the case. They are going to reprint this box. With that being the situation for this product, for this release, I think it's safe to say that this is going to continue to come down towards release. Now, that doesn't mean that it will always go down. I want to stress this, I feel like I can't stress this enough. This product seems to be a lot of fun. The theme when opening the set, opening this with people who aren't necessarily Magic fans, is probably going to be a ton of fun. If you are just a Magic adjacent fan, if you used to play Magic but have always loved Spider-Man, etc., I think this box is going to be a blast. And for that reason, it will always command a pretty decent value, but I wouldn't be surprised to see this dip a little bit more the closer we got to release. And in my opinion, that's not a sign of set health or game health or product health. No, that's how trading card games work. Everyone needs to snap out of the craziness of 2025 and realize that this is okay. But there are far more concerning signs that I want to talk to when we get into collector booster boxes. And I want to preface this conversation before we get into it. Collector booster boxes were on a bit of a wild ride. Now, collector booster boxes historically in Magic have moved for a couple reasons. Insanely high value cards, really popular sets, or limited availability. Look at something like Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. It had 2 of the 3 with the limited availability and crazy chase cards and introduction of these colored high-det Sugus, the different colors, the pinks and the greens and whatever. But then you had a reprint which flooded the market, and the price on those has hardly recovered, if at all. And that was because, as a collectible product, the community expects it to be exactly that. They expect it to be slightly somewhat limited. Another thing that moves this product is serialized cards, and there's some speculation that Spider-Man was, hey, maybe they removed the serialized wrapper from the collector box when they showed it off, and it's really going to have serialized cards. That to me is a silly take. I don't think Spider-Man was ever going to have serialized cards. I don't think we should ever think of it as having serialized cards, but I digress. All of these things kind of came to a head when it comes to the price of Spider-Man, and the Spider-Man Collector Booster Box is down off the highs of around $950 all the way down to $680.90. Now I will stress, Hometown Gaming TCG, not me, not my store, don't have a TCG player store, just a wild coincidence. But this price shows a couple things. First and foremost, it shows that there was some baked in hype about price going up and getting this box at a good value because it's just going to go to the moon. Well, you know that because anytime that's the case and you see a slight bit of slippage, as we set down to the graph here, you see a slight bit of slippage and the wheels come off a little bit, so to say, because people are saying, oh, maybe it's not, there's a lot of fear involved here. I only bought this because I think it's going to be very, very expensive, and for that reason, I can't be involved here. I'm only holding it because it's going to be really expensive. For that reason, I'm out here. And that is kind of understandable, but I think there's a bigger reason here. Now, $680 is nothing to scoff at. That's an expensive collector booster box, and in my opinion, too expensive for a collector booster box on release. But again, we are dealing in the Spider-Man craziness. But there's a bigger reason, in my opinion, that this set is kind of coming back down to earth, let's call it. I don't want to say crashing or getting too cheap, because like $700 collector boxes, it's hard to say it's crashing. I really think that this set is frankly just not as good as we had once hoped. It was stated by Magic the Gathering and Mark Rosewater that this was not supposed to be a full-fledged set until they dove in and realized that to tell the whole story, to bring the whole world to life, they needed a full set. It was supposed to be something that it's not. And at the last minute, Wizards of the Coast pivoted and they added to this product. Furthermore, without serialized cards, the nature of collectability is leaning completely on the idea that we are collecting cards that we just like. Look at, not March of the Siege, End of Eternities and the Singularity foil. The collectible in there, I think, is amazing. It's an incredible collectible, but it doesn't shine a light to the serialized Soul Rings, the serialized Chocobles, even the serialized cards in some of the more recent Magic the Gathering sets, because we have now taken to the serialization of Magic the Gathering. I don't think it will always be that way, and I don't think that's a great take to have. I think that these Singularity foils, these raised crazy foils of Soulstone, I think that's going to be highly and extremely collectible. But much like the One Ring in the Lord of the Rings collector booster boxes, I don't think we feel it's realistic to pull that card out of these boxes. When we look at that Singularity foil, or not I keep calling it the Singularity foil. When we look at the Soul Stone in the crazy foil, I don't think we think it's realistic to pull that out of that box. And as we realize this and realize the set is not that good, there's not that much else to chase, and there's a ton of unknowns, as we approach release, this price seems to be going down. And this to me kind of makes sense. I think Spider-Man, and I said it in another video and I'll say it again here, I think Spider-Man flew to the moon too fast. It rose too quick. It's much like Tarkir Dragonstorm did. It rose too quick based on this speculation and insane hype and has since come back down to earth. I expect that to continue to happen with Spider-Man. And look, that doesn't mean the product's unhealthy. I think it would be unhealthy if it was still going up to $1,000, $1,100, $1,200 before it's even released. I think that is a dangerous spot to be in. I always will, and I always have. But all in all, I'm excited for Spider-Man. I do think I'm excited for the theme more so than the playability of the cards. I want to get the comic book treatments, the comic book cover treatments, but they look wildly expensive right now. If you think those are going to go down, let me know in the comment section below. And until then, thank you so much for hanging out. I've got a sore throat. I've got a bad voice. I've been sick all week, so I'm going to end this video now. But thank you so much for hanging out. Until next time, you all know me. My name is Josh, and we'll see you around. All right, bye.